Hello and welcome back to Philly Sports Spotlight. You know, the art of fencing is certainly not what one would call a mainstream sport, but believe it or not, is one of the 5 original sports that have been featured at every single one of the modern-day Olympic Games since their inception in 1896. I have to believe that. I wasn't there, but I'm going to believe it anyway. Historically, the French, Spanish, and Italians have dominated the sport, but over the last 10 years or so, the United States has been coming on strong, finally breaking through at the 2008 Games in Beijing, where the U.S. women took gold, silver, and bronze, and the U.S. men's team the silver. Well, the success of those teams could explain the explosion of the sport's interest among young children. The Bucks County Fencing Academy is located in Lambertville, New Jersey, just across the Delaware River from New Hope, Pennsylvania. Bob Hobrow is both owner and longtime fencing master.
We've seen quite an explosion of fencing clubs in the New Jersey area and around us. I opened in 1981, so I like to think I led the pack. So I opened in January of 1981, and I think our success has led to a lot of other clubs opening.
Of course, when it comes to youth sports, fencing certainly isn't the norm.
It's really different from any other sport. I was never really into the same as everyone else. I didn't get into soccer when I was, in elementary school or anything. It's really different because it's an individual sport. And I think you can see everyone's unique personality and how they fence, and I think it's really cool.
I used to play baseball and basketball, but I gave that up to fence now.
So you're solely focused on this, which means that you've got grandeurs of going somewhere with the sport.
Yes. The Olympics.
It's just, you feel like, I don't know, you feel like a musketeer or a knight just up there. So even though there's a lot of technique to it, you feel like just swinging your sword around, you feel very free in a way.
What do your friends say when you tell them? Because I know a lot of your friends probably play soccer or football or baseball. What do your friends say when you tell them, I'm a fencer?
They're like, what is a fencer? Like, I'm the only fencer in my school. My sister, she's only a beginner, so I'm the best fencer in my school.
I fence with the foil, which is one of the 3 blades: foil, saber, and epee, which are the 3 blades.
The foil is held like this and is a point thrusting weapon only. The tip of the foil has a spring-loaded button on the tip, so when it is depressed, it scores a touch. So it is a point thrusting weapon only, not a cutting weapon.
I haven't tried saber yet, so foil I like the best now.
And the saber is held here, right? And it is a cutting and a point thrusting weapon. So touches are scored with the cutting edge as well as the point, and the blade is fairly flexible. It's actually the lightest of the 3 blades.
My favorite one is probably epee. I'm a lot better in it, and I'm higher rated in it, I just have a lot more fun with that one.
Blade of the epee is a triangular cross section, so it is stiffer than the foil and the saber. And the epee is a point thrusting blade like the foil, so there's a spring-loaded button on the tip, so when the point hits, right, it registers.
Fencing is definitely the kind of sport that you can keep doing for the rest of your life and keep enjoying doing it and push yourself and go to those big competitions.
College?
Definitely. I really want to fence at college. I fence on my high school team right now. I'm looking forward to it. Our season's in the winter. I'm going to be captain this year. It's pretty exciting.
Now, you got to admit, that's pretty interesting stuff. By the way, Tim Morehouse, who is currently a member of the U.S. men's fencing team and one of those Beijing silver medalists, has created a Fencing in the Schools initiative that he hopes will introduce even more children to the sport.
You know, when I was growing up, my mother actually found a charter school in East Harlem for me to attend because the schools in Washington Heights were so, they were so known as low-performing schools. And one of the reasons I ended up doing Teach for America and now really wanting to work and help kids in lower-income communities is because of that experience, really seeing the difference in education can make. And if my mother hadn't been able to find, additional options for me, I might have been in a school where I wouldn't have had the chance to really learn and to really grow as a person. After the Beijing Games, when I won a silver medal with my teammates, I started to speak at a lot of schools and talk to children about my sport, but also kind of sharing the Olympic ideals and a lot of inspiration. And when we would finish these assemblies, the principals would want a fencing program, and I was like, oh, that's great, but I didn't really know how to help all these schools start programs. So I decided this past year, while I was training for the London Games, that I was going to start fencing in the schools, and we are going to try to get 1 million kids fencing in the next 10 years. It's a great sport, gives kids a lot of obviously healthy activity, but requires a lot of mindfulness, a lot of focus, and we're also going to integrate in a lot of the character-driven traits that come from being an Olympian and the Olympic ideal.
By the way, if you'd like to find out more about Fencing in the Schools and that Fencing in the Schools program, log on to timmorehouse.wordpress.com. By the way, if you yourself have a unique story idea you'd like to see here on Philly Sports Spotlight, don't be shy. Just log on to our website, WMCN.TV, and email us your story idea. Make sure to write "Attention Philly Sports Spotlight." Hey, when we return after the break, it's back to the studio with Stevie Wright for an encore presentation of Go All Out. Stay tuned. And once again, welcome back to Philly Sports Spotlight. Hope you're enjoying the show. Now, for those of you who have been trying to figure out this week's trivia question, check it out. Here's the question. Montel Harris from Temple set a new Big East single-game rushing record of 351 yards. Whose record did he break? The answer? 1986 Heisman Trophy runner-up Paul Palmer of Temple, who had the record at 349 until Harris broke it recently by 2. Okay, folks, that's going to do it for this edition of Philly Sports Spotlight. Don't forget to join us every Wednesday at 7 and 11:30 right here for the entire crew at WMCM 44. I'm Phil Andrews, and as we say goodbye, we'll do so a little Go All Out from South Jersey's own Stevie Wright and B-Rock.
Look, ever since I was a foot tall, I've been in love with football. So I had to lace them up, show them I was tough and I could play with the big dogs.